Do you realize how hard it is to just be on social media and just like not have a niche, and you just like you are a personality who has a lot of things that you like to do. You have a lot of shit that you want to talk about, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to talk about the same thing every day. I think that's me. Now, full transparency, I am a guy who does it all. Like, I like to talk about tech. I like to talk about sports. I podcast. I do, tech reviews on here. You probably see me talk about everything when it comes to the TikTok shop outside of the mirror that they won't send me because it's like, oh, like men just don't like mirrors, but whatever. Either way, like for me, overall, I love to talk, clearly it's just really hard to have a niche and know that you don't want to be pigeonholed into just doing the same shit every day. When I see the chefs, I'm like, damn, like how many times can they remix like Alfredo? Like this is like the 78th recipe that they've used with like chicken and linguine and stuff like that. Like cool. Like that's your thing, but eventually you have to kind of reinvent yourself. You don't really have to reinvent yourself though if you are just like living your life and being who you are. So when I talk to people who, like, oh, I always want to start a podcast, I'm like, yo, first and foremost, that shit is hard. As easy as we used to make it sound like on, Loudmouth and Young Black and Bothered and stuff like that, it was just like, yo, like it's different, bro. Like you just can't always be on. You need a break, and more importantly, you just have to be yourself. So with social media, I see it as the exact same thing. And I say this because I've been doing this test since February 1st, my birthday. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a video every single day, regardless of how tired I am, how annoyed that I have to make content. So I started doing a TikTok shop. I started doing like just daily affirmations. I've been talking about going to the gym, working out, and stuff like that. But the issue is like, there are some people who are doing this with just the same type of content every day. And I've never understood it, but I understand. Hey, if that one or two videos that you've made jumped and they popped off, and you're like, hey, people like the way I cook, people like that I clean my house. It was like, okay, yeah, you're the person who cleans their house every Saturday. That's dope. But eventually, people were like, yo, there's gonna be 50 other people who do that, and we're just gonna watch that. Like full transparency, the guy who he cleans with the mop, right? Like I really like his content. And I'm like, yo, like he's like he cleaning. I think the one video I saw with him with like Jagged Edge or something, he's going and cleaning to a Jagged Edge song. I'm like, yo, this is fire. This is great content. Taped the phone to the fucking mop and everything. I'm like, yo, this is fire. Then I started seeing seven other people doing the exact same thing. I'm like, so now everybody think that's a niche now. And I'm like, no, like he is who he is. Everybody else is just copycats. You feel me? And I just don't ever want to be in that position to be like, all right, like I've gotten to the point where I found something that works, and then other people are still in it, still in it, and then it doesn't make my shit look original because I just look like everybody else. That's why I don't think niches work. I feel like you should be able to reinvent yourself every morning when you wake up. Today I may talk about pizza. The next day I might talk about, going to the gym. The day after that I might talk about PlayStation games. Like that to me is what social media was all about. Mainly because this platform doesn't even reward you for fucking talking anymore. You would think, okay, comments are trending. I don't give a fuck about that. They're not talking about the likes and the hearts and the reposts and stuff like that. They're just like, hey, let's just keep making us money. Cool, no big deal. But ultimately, man, if I could leave y'all with one thing, like don't go and just believe that just because you did good on a couple of videos that your niche is that video. Like no, just try other shit because you're going to burn yourself out. I did that before. When I started with the YouTube shit way back when, it was like, all right, I'm just gonna do tech products, and then I started sounding like every other fucking tech reviewer. That was boring me. I was like, yo, I'm sitting here, got the top down shot, got the side shot, I got the product shot. No, be who you are, and people will resonate with it. Now that I've said that, this video is not going to do any numbers because of the fact that just being fully transparent. And it's 4 minutes long, so there's a whole nother story. Probably people tuned out after 20 seconds. If you watch this entirety, this video in its entirety, I appreciate you. If you watched it in, 5 seconds, thank you for getting my RPM up. But more importantly, man, just again, don't go with just a niche or just being that guy who does that one thing. Be who you are on this platform the same way you are when you get off this shit. I'll see y'all later.